Having a fixed lens camera removes the option paralysis of an interchangeable lens system and lets you focus on making the actual image. And this is the LEICA Q3. A $6,000 camera that removes choice entirely from you, the photographer. If the FUJI X100 series had a 28mm lens instead of the 35mm equivalent that it has, well, here it is, the LEICA Q3. I for one love larger sensor fixed lens point and shoots. As you've seen in my latest episode about the Sony RX1, they just help me forget about gear and just take a single camera out for the day, enjoy the experience of photography. The LEICA Q3 is a 61 megapixel full frame fixed lens camera. It's essentially Leica's answer to the Fuji X100 series. And there's one thing that I wish Fuji cameras had, and it's a full frame sensor. The LEICA Q3 comes in at $6,000, so it's definitely not a cheap camera by any stretch. However, there is nothing like it on the face of the earth. A full frame 28mm f1.7 fixed lens camera is a lot of people's ideal camera and lens combination. For some, the Fuji X100 series 35mm lens is just a tad bit too restrictive for one lens set. The LEICA Q3 is essentially the answer to their prayers. The design of this camera is beautiful. It's such a simple and functional design. The use of materials and textures is absolutely gorgeous on this camera. Absolutely functional as well. I love the way that the EVF looks on the back. It also has a tilt-up display which makes it a joy to use as a waist-level camera. And the build quality is among the best I've ever seen from any camera, hands down. It feels solid. .28mm is definitely growing on me as an everyday walking around focal length. Having this focal length walking around the streets was absolutely an enjoyable experience. I absolutely love the look that this wide lens gets me, especially when cropping in to a more cinematic aspect ratio. The fact that it's 28mm at f1.7 is essentially the full frame equivalent of the Hasselblad X-Pan 45mm. When cropped to the same aspect ratio of the 65x24mm film. Being able to walk around with a digital X-Pan is a dream of mine, and this camera is a step closer to realizing that. You can focus extremely close with this camera thanks to its macro ability, just adding to its versatility as an all-around camera. Also, the manual focus on this lens is probably the best I've ever seen from a fly-by-wire lens on a camera. The focus feels so precise that it feels like it's moving the lens mechanically. They did a really good job of making the autofocus lens feel like an M-mount manual focus lens. I used the digital crop markers a few times, and that's surprising because I didn't think I would use them at all. Having such a large amount of data to work with on a fixed lens everyday carry camera is actually a really interesting idea to me. It doesn't feel like a different lens like advertised, but for me, when I need to punch in for more detail in a scene, it's a great choice. This camera really is a different experience overall. It lets me focus on capturing a scene more effectively, not focus on the gear at all. I treat it differently to other cameras that I own. It feels special. At the end of the day, is this a perfect camera? For some. But it's unique. In the world of full-frame cameras, it's a special experience. I would highly recommend trying this camera out if a chance appears. Thanks for watching today's episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!